Well, get the popcorn out and book a date with your couch. Another dramatic teaser for Harry and Meghan's highly anticipated Netflix series has been released. Take a look.
It's really hard to look back on it now and go, what on earth happened?
You hear that? That is the sound of hearts breaking all around the world.
She's becoming a royal rock star.
And then
everything changed. There's a hierarchy of the family. You know, there's leaking, but there's also planting of stories.
There was a war against Meghan to suit other people's agendas.
It's about hatred. It's about race.
It's a dirty game. The pain and the suffering of women marrying into this institution, this feeding frenzy.
I realized they're never going to protect you.
I was terrified. I didn't want history to repeat itself. No one knows the full truth.
Yep. Let's go live to Nine's US correspondent, Jonathan Kersley. I'm trying to be diplomatic here. Jono, so when's it dropping?
Thursday, December the 8th. That is just 3 days from now here in the United States, when finally this much anticipated first episode in a 6-part Netflix series will drop onto Netflix. It is been much talked about, and we see from this minute-long trailer today that this time it is Harry opening up about what it is like for a woman to marry into the royal family, reflecting on the experience of his mother. The first trailer featured plenty of happy snaps. This time it is more of what Harry and Meghan have to say, and that is what Buckingham Palace will be bracing for in the days ahead. As I mentioned, there are 6 parts to this series as Harry and Meghan try to get at what they believe to be their version of events around their experience inside the royal family. This is also worth big money to them, 147 million Australian dollars.
It's a lot of money, isn't it, Jono? What do we think? Are we weighing in this morning?
How many streams do we need? I can see Jono wasn't very diplomatic right there, shaking as it was going to. Tell us what you really think, Jono. Can I play poker with Jono?
I mean, there's been a lot of people waiting to hear from both of these individuals, particularly I think there's been much talked about and much anticipation of this in the wake of the Queen's passing, because we know that Prince Harry was incredibly close to his grandmother, not so much his father, and it seems as though there's also that fractured relationship with his brother William, who was over stateside just a matter of days ago. It seems as though Prince Harry is not pulling punches in this, but yeah, let's wait for the full 6 parts to see exactly how much of this is promotion versus how much of this is reality.
Do you know what my issue with it is? Like, I get that they say
Jono.
it's their version of the truth, but it just feels like it's such a crafted narrative.
Yeah.
It doesn't
But I think that was
come across
always
as
the pathway they were going to pave for themselves once they left the royal family, moved to the United States. They're in Hollywood. It was always going to be the case of them signing a big deal. And as we heard in the first trailer, she wants to tell, or they want to tell, their own story. So,
drip feeding it.
I mean, behind the scenes, I might have more to say about it, but I'm going to try and be diplomatic.
I hear that every episode has a cliffhanger, just like
Yes.
Netflix wants you to have. So, like, I'll just keep going one more episode.
The
Let's go.
producers know how to feed us. Come on.
All the stuff that they're saying in the trailer too has been said before. It's not. There's no surprises yet.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for, like, a surprise bombshell.
There will be more parts coming, don't worry.
Oh, God, I hope they get a second series. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this Thursday, the 8th of December, mark it in your diary, get some popcorn, because we are going to have a little viewing party. It's a date with the royals.
Yeah, so the first 3 episodes of Harry and Meghan's bombshell Netflix documentary will drop worldwide. The couple releasing a new trailer this morning. Let's have a look at the snippet.
It's really hard to look back on it now and go, what on earth happened?
You hear that? That is the sound of hearts breaking all around the world.
She's becoming a royal rock star.
And then
Everything changed. There's a hierarchy of the family. You know, there's leaking, but there's also planting of stories.
There was a war against Meghan to suit other people's agendas.
It's about hatred. It's about race.
It's a dirty game. The pain and the suffering of women marrying into this institution, this feeding frenzy.
I realized they're never going to protect you.
I was terrified. I didn't want history to repeat itself. No one knows the full truth.
Well, that's the entire trailer
That's not
right
a snippet,
there.
right?
No, that's not a snippet. I'm sure everyone's being reeled in right now. But for more, we're joined by royal editor of the Daily Mirror, Russell Myers. Hello to you, Russell. Harry slams his own family. More sobbing from Meghan. What do you make of it all?
Well, good morning. Well. When we're talking about them again, aren't we? And that was almost like we were watching the future series of The Crown. I mean, it couldn't have got more dramatic if they tried. But there's lots of moving footage, deep breaths, dramatic music. I mean, what more do we want? I mean, we're all going to be absolutely glued to it. And it sort of took me back to when we were seeing the first sort of promos for the Oprah Winfrey interview, and everyone was thinking, gosh, this is going to be very, very explosive. And of course it was. And now we've got two clips here of Harry and Meghan speaking about their awful torturous life within the royal family. I mean, they've been out of the royal family for nearly double how long they've been in it. So, yeah, listen, we're all going to be talking about it, and it's going to be pretty wild.
Yep.
To be fair, he was in it a little bit longer than her. But what I like about this trailer, you know, as a fan, Russ, you and I have spoken about this a lot. They're doing all the hits. They're playing on, you know, the fact that that he was really unhappy. It's terrible for women marrying into the family. I feel like we're going to go over a lot of old stuff. I want to know what's going to come out that's new.
Well, I suppose we are. I think there's two main themes here, isn't it? It's the torturous nature of his awful family that he's going to be talking about, and it's those god-awful press that he's been so tortured about as well. But I think what we need to look at, and I mean, a lot of people have been, on my side of the coin, have been taking apart these pictures, and you look at the imagery that's been used and the way that they're talking about it, and I think they've really messed up here, because some of these images that the photographers you've just seen there weren't even following Harry and Meghan around. That was in New York with Trump's former lawyer. We've got other issues of a celebrity in the UK being followed that Harry and Meghan have made out like it's them. So I think once you scratch the surface of this little show, it's going to be absolutely, it's going to fall apart.
And if that's the case then, sorry, Trace, but if that's the case then, Russ, I mean, they're not editing this. They're not directing it. They've given their time. They've taken the pay cut. So this is Netflix editing it to make it look more dramatic for them, right?
But I do wonder if they've got final approval.
Do they, though?
Well, Russ, you have some insights.
On that, I mean, you make a great point, because I mean, we already had Meghan come out a few weeks ago and almost allude to the fact that they'd lost control of the process, even though they handpicked the director. Now, I would assume that people talking about Netflix putting this, or Harry and Meghan putting the trailer out last week to torpedo William and Kate's trip to Boston, whether that was their decision, I mean, or it was their decision not to make, Netflix want maximum coverage about this. And they've been paid an awful lot of money. So I don't think they've got, much say in it once they've been speaking to the cameras.
Well, it's a 6-part series, Russ, and also we've seen 2 trailers, as you mentioned, 2 minutes long, I'd say.
It's like Marvel, isn't it?
I know,
they just keep releasing trailers.
But I suspect that even just those short 2 minutes has caused quite a stir back in the UK.
Well, it has. I mean, I'm in the States still here after covering William and Kate's little mini trip, and we were supposed to be talking about Prince William's fantastic environmental awards, the Earthshot Prize last week, which really on the ground was fantastic, but it totally overshadowed their cause out there. I mean, we've got 2 parts now on December the 8th, the first 3 episodes, and then December the 15th. And December the 15th is when Kate is supposed to be holding her really high-profile carol concert at Westminster Abbey. So, I don't think we'll be talking about that very much. We're talking about
It's just, it's like the PR people at Netflix said, "Hey, has your other family got anything coming up?" And Harry's like, "Oh, there's something on the 15th. Perfect. No reason. No reason. We'll just put it out there." And I feel like so many things are conspiring here.
Oh, definitely. I mean, like, Harry knows how important it is to not torpedo other members of the family's work, whether you're abroad, whether you're doing something important like one of your causes. So I just think, maybe those dates were circled in the diary and they said to Netflix, you might want to put it out on these dates.
Will we hear from the royal family about this?
Yeah. Well, I think we will have to, because you remember the Oprah Winfrey interview that the Queen released that unprecedented statement saying recollections may vary. Now, I'm told as soon as he flew back here, Prince William was straight on the phone to his father, the King, and they are going to be prepared to release robust statements against this, because all the teams are going to be watching it all together to make sure they are on the front foot as much as possible. And if there are more claims of racism, mistreatment from the royal family, and they are being targeted, well, The gloves are off now, and it is gone is the period of never complain, never explain. So, I think it's going to get pretty punchy between both sides.
Well, I think their PR machine's going to be in overdrive, both Netflix and the firms.
And with that race problem they had last week at the royal family, it could get worse. Russ, good to see you, mate.
You too. Thanks.
Fun show.
Yes.
We are just 2 days away from what is arguably the most hotly anticipated release of the year, Harry and Meghan's bombshell Netflix documentary. And this morning we've been treated to yet another trailer. Take a look.
It's really hard to look back on it now and go, what on earth happened?
You hear that? That is the sound of hearts breaking all around the world.
She's becoming a royal rock star.
And then
Everything changed. There's a hierarchy of the family. There's leaking, but there's also planting of stories.
There was a war against Meghan to suit other people's agendas.
It's about hatred. It's about race.
It's a dirty game. Pain and suffering of women marrying into this institution, this feeding frenzy.
I realized they're never going to protect you.
I was terrified. I didn't want history to repeat itself. No one knows the full truth.
Yeah, we're soon going to find out. To break it down, we are joined by the royal editor of the Daily Mirror, Russell Myers. Good morning, Russ. Great to have you on. It seems like a Hollywood blockbuster, doesn't it?
Well, it does. Good morning, guys. I mean, I'm just getting over the last trailer, which was last week, and sort of giving us the full drama and intrigue of another series of The Crown. And yet here we are with Harry and Meghan's documentary coming out next on this Thursday. The following three-parter will be next week. I mean, it's got everything, hasn't it? Super drama, super dramatic music, but them talking about the fact that they were not only put upon by the family, but the awful press were after them as well. But, when you scratch the surface of this, it sort of falls apart already, because I've been looking into some of those images used in this trailer, and some of them weren't even involving Harry or Meghan at all. So I think they might be on a bit of a sticky wicket here, because if they keep doing things like this to try and hoodwink the public, then I don't think it's all going to go their way.
No. Like you say, Russ, it's like the latest release of The Crown. It is captivating, though, isn't it? Whether you're into the royals or not. Has there been any comment from the royal family so far? Do you suspect we'll perhaps hear from them within coming days?
Well, it's definitely everybody's talking about it, and regardless of what your opinion is of Harry and Meghan, I think it will be a blockbuster. I mean, we're still talking about their Oprah Winfrey interview over a year ago. There's been no comment from any of the royal family, but certainly the people at the palace I'm speaking to have said, make no mistake, there will be a robust response if they feel that any senior royals are being tarnished with to service this big blockbuster series. I mean, we saw when the Queen last year said that recollections may vary, and I think that if we do see further allegations that could damage the monarchy, we will definitely get a response.
Just further on those inaccuracies, Russ, they've been called out for using misleading footage. Can you just tell us more about that?
Well, it's interesting, and certainly one of the main offenders, I think, was when they were using footage with carrying Archie, and you've got a photographer taking a picture from a high level, and that was definitely on the Royal Tour of South Africa, because I was there. I mean, we were all invited. It was certain press points. Part of the royal rota, as all members of the royal family have done for decades. Other parts of was Donald Trump's lawyer in New York being chased by photographers outside a court. Another one was the TV celebrity Katie Price in the UK. So, I mean, there is definitely more than a few examples here of Harry and Meghan, portraying themselves as victims, but it doesn't really ring true.
No. OK. Well, we're all waiting with bated breath to see exactly what plays out on our screens. Russell Myers, we thank you. Safe travels to you.
G'day, it's Ali.
And Karl.
Thanks for watching the Today YouTube channel.
Subscribe now for brand new videos every day and exclusive bonus clips.
Ali, say please.
Please? Why?
Please? I don't know.